Thank you for listening to Ingram Law. As always, we appreciate you being a guest. Our website is joeingramlaw.com. Again, joeingramlaw.com. Our phone number is 205 335 2640. We do take your questions off the air, and we will get back to you with those if you have questions. So, we've talked about child custody factors. Tonight, we're going to talk briefly a little bit about child support in Alabama and how it's determined. Anytime you are dependent on receiving child support, the ability to receive it or have the child support order enforced is important in your life. You don't need me to tell you that. The courts take child support matters more seriously than they ever have before in the past. In fact, some courts are more willing to hold a parent in civil or even criminal contempt of court for failure to pay child support. The good news is that if you are willing to hold the other party accountable, you can enforce your child support order. As an attorney, I take child support matters very seriously in Alabama, especially those that are working mothers and need child support to help raise their children. So, in child support cases, we gather the relevant income information to present to the court. It is necessary for you to collect income statements, tax returns, or any other related documents that are related to your income for me to present the best case for you in court. Child support in Alabama. Alabama has established what we call statewide child support guidelines. In fact, the guidelines were recently modified a couple years ago for cost of living adjustments. The changes for the cost of living modifications have been the most significant changes in the last 20 years. The guidelines determine the amount of child support based on the combined gross income of both of the parties, of mom and dad. Other factors the court may consider are extracurricular activities the children are involved in, such as football, basketball, baseball, girls volleyball, softball, things of that nature. Maybe even dance, gymnastics, things of that nature. So, generally, I encourage the custodial parent to keep an expense ledger of their spending habits for the last 3 to 6 months to get a good snapshot, if you will, of the actual needs of the child or children involved. In a divorce case, parents often agree to the child support amount listed in the guidelines. However, when the income of the parties exceeds $10,000 a month, or the child has a significant number of activities that they participate in, a judge will oftentimes determine the appropriate amount of child support for their needs. If the parents of a child or children are not legally married, the father's paternity must be determined by a paternity test before awarding child support in that case. These cases are often held in family court when the parties are not legally married. I do represent a number of moms that are seeking custody from potential dads for child support, and I also represent a number of fathers that are seeking a DNA test to determine whether or not they are going to pay child support in a custody case. The establishment of paternity is an important issue. If you are not the natural parent of a child, you would rather not be held responsible for paying child support in the future. That's a no-brainer. So if you are seeking child support, or if you are looking at paying at child support and you need representation, we would be glad to talk to you and possibly represent you. We take cases throughout the state of Alabama. Our website is joeingramlaw.com. Again, joeingramlaw.com. Our phone number is 205-335-2640. As we always say, take care of yourself and each other and have a good night. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.